Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets, we are very pleased you have joined us for our AI and Technology Conference. Our next live presentation is from Locafy Limited. Please note you can submit questions for the presenter to the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings by clicking Book a Meeting in the top toolbar. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Gavin Burnett, Chief Executive Officer and founder of Locafy Limited, which trades on the Nasdaq under the symbol LCFY and under the symbol LCFYW. Welcome, Gavin.
Thanks very much, Greg. I appreciate the opportunity to present to your audience. So, yeah, we have a pretty interesting changing landscape in the world of SEO, and what our company is really all about is helping companies achieve visibility in both online and AI search. So for those that are not familiar with Locafy, just a quick overview. As Greg mentioned, ticker on Nasdaq is LCFY and LCFYW. We're a globally recognized software as a service company that specializes in location-based digital marketing solutions. Essentially what we do is we help businesses and brands to easily and rapidly improve their search engine performance and get to prominence in specific markets using a combination of tried and tested techniques and technology. We've invested millions of dollars in research to understand how search engines work, and whilst we don't make any claims that we're able to reverse engineer, we do have a very good understanding, and we apply that to our technology. Founded in 2009, so we've just ticked over 16 years. We've been listed for 3 years. Our headquarters are in Perth in Subiaco, which is where I'm dialing in from today. In terms of the business itself, we have around 20 plus global publishing partners, more than 500 end customers, and the key markets that we service are the USA, Australia and Canada. In Australia, our financial year runs to June 30, so the financial year 2024 revenues were in the order of 4.15 million. We will be releasing our December financials in the next couple of weeks, so it's going to be challenging for me to give any information in relation to more recent financials until we publicly release those. So just giving you the heads up on that in terms of questions that may come later in the presentation. So what problems do we solve in the market? Well, for many businesses, whether they're small, big or large, visibility and prominence in online search is very challenging. It's typically very complex, requires very specific skills, and is expensive, and often just simply does not work. And the problem is that if you don't have a strong position on page one of search engines such as Google or Bing or now AI, then you're not going to get the consumer engagement. I mean, there's a couple of things we could say about page two. It's where Jimmy Hoffa is. You'll probably find Bigfoot there as well. Basically, no one goes there. 90 people will be more likely to type in a new search term than go to page two. It's so important. So what do? We deliver fast results. We typically get page one results inside of 90 days for our customers, and not just for long tail keywords, but for keywords that are relevant and valuable to their business. It's very cost effective, and I will go into some pricing details later in the presentation, so that won't be a mystery. It's very rapidly deployed. Our solutions are typically deployed to our customers within 24 hours of the order being placed. And we have proven performance. We've worked in those markets that I mentioned, Canada, US and Australia, and we've been able to rank for pretty much any keyword, no matter how difficult it is, in any of those markets. And we guarantee our performance as well. So those guarantees will vary in terms of time frame to achieve the results based on the complexity, the difficulty, and of the challenge that we're facing. But now there's a really big challenge that customers are going to have to deal with, and that's AI. AI search is definitely here, and it's not going away. Let's just look at the size of the market that we're talking about. Online visibility, digital marketing, whatever you want to call it, companies are spending close to $800 billion a year and to basically get in front of an audience that's looking for their products and services. And that is expected to grow. That spend is expected to grow to exceed more than $1 trillion, or more than $1.1 trillion actually, by 2029. And I think this is probably one of the greater challenges that digital marketing companies and businesses are going to face, and that is, Google is still dominant, and it likely will remain quite prominent for quite a period of time. However, AI search is aggressively taking on Google's 10 blue links, and that language is meaning the top 10 search results on page one. More recent research indicates that AI search referrals surged something in the order of 1,300% during the most recent holiday season. Primarily people looking for products, so e-commerce was a particularly strong performer. And the other thing that's being uncovered is that consumers that do use AI search to find what they're looking for tend to be more engaged when they're referred from the AI screen, whether it's chat or Gemini or Perplexity or whatever it might be. The referrals tend to stay on the website for longer, which is obviously a great thing if that business is being referred. So the key point here is that AI search cannot be ignored, and it's here to stay, and it's only going to grow. So, as I said, we're very strong in research and development. So when we're providing advice to clients, it's based on knowledge. We're not guessing. It's something we've tested, and we have great certainty when we provide that advice. And that testing, the results of that testing, is baked into our products that we sell to our customers as well. So without getting too technical, what we've determined is that online search engines and AI are essentially drawing from the same content pool, which makes sense. There's only one internet, right? So all of these tools are drawing from whatever is published on the internet. Now, search engines, we know, use things called entities. Now, entities are people, place, products, or things, and it's a way that the search engines categorize content to make it easier for them to display results that are relevant to what you're looking for. And based on our early testing, it appears that AI is using a very similar methodology. And why are we certain about that? Well, the pages that we built that appear prominently in the top 3, top 5 of search engine results for online search, they also tend to appear as the primary source documents when you're doing an AI search, either using Gemini or Perplexity or ChatGPT. And we've seen that across multiple markets and multiple business categories. So we're fairly confident that if you get your core SEO right, or search engine optimization right, that's actually going on in AI search as well. Okay, so here's the age-old problem that every business faces, is that they're in one location and their customers are all around them, and their customers have got mobile phones on them, and they're looking for stuff. They're looking for products. They're looking for services. And as I mentioned earlier, you need to be on page one. Otherwise, you're not in the hunt for that business. How does it all start? We like to keep things simple, even though SEO and AI is very complex. I'll aim to make this as easy to understand as possible. Now, obviously, everything starts with content. Content is what a business will produce. It's business information, their logo, their business name, their images, their videos, everything about the business. One thing we can say with great certainty is that authenticity is essential. The content needs to be unique to you, and it needs to be accurate, informative, and consistent in its publishing. And by doing that, you're going a long way towards setting the right sort of foundations for a strong performance in search engine rankings. So I've just got a slight lag here. As I say, dialing in from Australia, and one thing we don't have here is awesome internet, so I appreciate your patience on that. So in terms of the content, where does it start? Well, building trust, and one of the best ways to do that is by having your business information published on various directories, search engines, voice assistants, maps, and apps. Now, why is that important? Well, again, think of it like your social security number or something that's unique to you. The search engines can identify who you are by your name, address, and phone number. So that's essential to get right out of the box. And you'd be amazed at how many times people simply don't get that right. Or they publish their address in slightly different ways on lots of different directories and things. And then if you think about it, that's very confusing for an algorithm, which is basically looking at ones and zeros. So if you've got things that are out of whack, then it's confused about who you are and what you do. Is probably the simplest way to do it. So while directories are really important to establish that foundation, we wouldn't expect that you're going to set the world on fire and get lots of leads or anything like that from them. That's not their purpose. Their purpose is to help you build trust, and it's to help with the search engines and also with AI. And the other thing to think about is that if somebody does happen to find your business, you want them to have the right phone number so they know how to contact you, or when the phone rings, it's actually you that it's going through to and not some other business. The next step is web pages that have that are structured in such a way that the search engines know what it is that you do. And there are some very particular things that you need to do on the page to make sure that those pages are recognized by the search engines and do appear in relevant search for your company. Now, we can do this using our own technology, use our platform, and in some cases we'll provide advice to clients on how they can improve their own website. So we do a combination of the two. But this is really important to have landing pages that are structured so that if you think about the search engine hitting trillions of pages, it doesn't have a lot of time to make a decision. So it's looking for some key markers on the page to determine what actually might be published on that page. We've got a very good idea what they are, and we've baked that into all of the products or pages that we sell. And that includes things like, just going to the next slide here, articles. This is another way to publish web pages that enable customers to target very specific topics within their business. So it gives them a chance to expand the information that they're putting out online. And finally, you've got the Google Business Profile. It's probably one of the most important digital assets that a business has. It's a way that, let's using Google as an example, it's how it understands what your business is. So very important for local businesses. Around half of all search today is local. And when I say local, what happens when you put local search terms in for, say, painter, plumber, doctor, whatever it may be? What you'll notice is that what typically appears at the top of search is like a little map pack, and it's got businesses listed in there. And 44% of all local traffic to websites will go through that map pack. So it's important to have web pages that rank. It's equally, if not more important for local search, that you have a degree of prominence in those map results for the keywords that are relevant to your business. Otherwise, you're missing out on a huge amount of traffic and potential business. And as I said at the top of the presentation, one thing that we've now found and we're certain about is that if you get your SEO strategy right to do with your listings, your landing pages, or the structure of your website, and your Google Business Profile, that's going to dramatically increase your chances of being prominent in search and AI search results. That may be a little difficult to read, but the example here that I'm giving is a client where this web page is only 6 weeks old, and it ranked for in AI search for a competitive term in local search, and it sort of puts a lie to the fact that you need to have these pages out there for a long period of time. That's not the case in this situation. We went past some well-established companies, national companies, in the space of 6 weeks, and we believe that's down to how well it's been structured. And of course, finally, in terms of using AI, we're pretty excited about this engagement. So in this June quarter, Locafy will be releasing what we are calling our AI concierge. And basically, we are able to dive into any database, whether it's something we've published, any CRM, any booking engine, and basically provide you with a concierge to connect and take calls 24/7, easily communicate with customers, take bookings, change bookings, whatever the case may be. So super excited about that, and we'll be releasing that to market before the end of the June quarter. But early results in that have been fantastic. Our chatbots are also great. They're more commonplace these days, but they certainly do help increase that consumer engagement and conversion once a customer's actually stumbled across your site or found your site through search. So something exciting to look out for in coming months from us is that AI voice bot, which is going to be a very valuable asset for companies to use. And look, I just want to give you a bit of an idea. These are not the only products we sell, but to give you some sort of indication of what the cost would be to get a solution like this in place for a single location business. Obviously, we can do multi-location and we can do national businesses as well. So this is just an amuse-bouche, if you like, in terms of the sort of product range that we have. This is what we call our localizer product, and it's a combination of the business listing syndications, which is, of course, an important foundation product for anything that we do. Landing pages, we deploy these landing pages, and typically we see them ranking very highly within 30 to 90 days, depending on the complexity of the keyword and the volume of search activity that's around that keyword. We also optimize the client's GBP, and we typically can get top 3 rankings, usually within 60 days or so, through the optimizations and the off-page technology that we have. And to give you a bit of an idea of what our plans are, so I touched at the top of the presentation that we have around 20 publishing partners. Now these companies are citation management companies, and I think we have in the order of 28 million or so business listings in our database currently that are being fed to us by these data partners. And for the moment, those listings are published on directory networks that we own, which is a nice business in its own right. But what we're intending to do is to connect that API into our platform to enable the mass production of landing pages, to really streamline and automate the production of those pages for customers that they have. So that's a growth area that we can see, which we're really focused on this year. The other markets that we're going after are industry groups, so large single-focused industry groups that are looking for to improve the prominence of their members or dealers or brokers or whatever the case may be. And key categories will include real estate, home services, mortgage brokers, and so forth. We are currently working with a couple of large US groups, and we'll be able to talk more about that in coming months. And also working with large marketing agencies, we rather than the smaller agencies that might only have a few customers, there's nothing wrong with that. But in terms of our focus, we're going after companies that are dealing with multi-location businesses, brand businesses, just get more bang for our buck in that regard. So we have one fantastic partner here in Australia that's delivered tremendous growth for us in the past 3 months, and we're looking to replicate that in other markets as well. So I think I was aiming to get this through the presentation in 20 minutes to enable me to answer some of these questions that are coming through. So thank you. The contact details for myself, you're welcome to email me there. And also our investor relations partner is Gateway, and Matt Glover is the gentleman who looks after our business there. So, okay, in terms of the questions, The question on tariffs. I'm not qualified to talk about that. I have opinions on it, but opinions versus knowledge or expertise are two different things. So I appreciate the question, but I think I should best steer clear of that. Well, here's a good question. How does AI change your business? We think it's actually going to be to our advantage. So the early signs are very, very good that our customers that have that we've been able to get prominence for important keywords in online search, they're getting the same level of prominence in AI search as well. And we're testing this across the major AI engines. So we're very excited about that because our testing in relation to entities and how the Google algorithm works, for example, it seems that there's a lot of similarities in terms of how AI is working. So with us, I think the way to put it is that if you utilize our services, then you're getting more bang for your buck. You're killing two birds with one stone. Not that I would advocate killing birds or anything like that, but you're getting the ability to cover both of those angles with one solution, which I think is a tremendous benefit and hugely cost effective. Okay, the strategy of building our US business and sales channels. Yeah, another good question. So again, what we're looking for in the US partners being large marketing agencies that have a number of multi-location business clients, and we are in discussions with a couple of those right now. And also I touched on the fact that we're dealing with around 20 large citation management companies, and there's 2 or 3 there, without naming names, that we'd like to start trialing the connectivity between the listings that they have and the SEO solutions that we have. And now that there is a very strong AI angle to what we do, we think that's only going to be more attractive to them to consider that. So these are really good questions. Thank you. Okay, current outlook for profitability. Whilst I'm not able to give guidance, we have previously mentioned to the market that that is the board's absolute focus, and we are aiming to be profitable as soon as possible. We made a number of considerable cost reductions, and they were largely able to be achieved through 2 things: automation of product, and also modifying our sales process, working with partners rather than having our own direct sales team. And that is pushing us much, much closer towards that profitability target, which is something we'd set our sights on for June 30. Now, whether we're able to achieve that or not, we're going to be very close. So we've got a couple more questions that we have here. Partner program. Yeah, look, the partner program, very, very happy with. And I think it comes down to quality rather than quantity, would be my observation there. And that is working with a lesser number of agencies, but those agencies that are absolutely committed to our brand, believe in the product, have seen that it works. We're getting a lot more traction than trying to deal with, many, many dozens of smaller agencies that only have, a small number of clients each. So if we've all got limited time, so, the more we can focus our efforts on getting a better return or a bigger return for the same effort, that's what we'll continue to do. I hope that answers your question there. I think that's all of the questions that I've got there. So, yeah, unless there's any other questions, I think we've done pretty well. We got done in 25 minutes, and more than happy to hear from any of you. You've got my contact details there, and happy to engage and have a conversation if you'd like to do so.